For decades, the golden rule in Australia was incredibly simple. If you want a vehicle that will never leave you stranded in the middle of nowhere, you buy a Toyota HiLux. But between 2015 and 2020, Toyota sold roughly 264,000 HiLux, Prado, and Fortuner models in this country, fitted with a diesel particulate filter system that the federal court later ruled was fundamentally defective. Here is the honest truth from inside the workshop. There are 4 specific Utes parked in Aussie driveways right now that will actually outlast the modern HiLux and cost you thousands of dollars less to keep on the road. To understand how a HiLux can be beaten at its own game, we first need to talk about the elephant in the room: modern diesel emissions technology and the infamous Toyota tax. The older, early 2000s HiLux with the 3.0-litre 1KZ or 1KD engine earned the Unbreakable reputation. They were mechanical anvils. But modern driving conditions have changed. When Toyota introduced the 2.8-litre 1GD FTV engine, it came with a highly sensitive diesel particulate filter, or DPF. If you are a tradie doing short trips between suburbs in Sydney or Melbourne, the exhaust never gets hot enough to burn off the carbon soot. The filter clogs, the Ute starts blowing thick clouds of toxic white smoke, and it throws itself into limp mode while you are trying to overtake a road train on the Pacific Highway. Fixing modern Toyota diesel systems is where your wallet goes to die. If your piezo injectors fail, or your DPF needs a complete manual replacement outside of warranty, you are looking at repair bills that can easily swallow $5,000 to $8,000. On top of that, you have the Toyota tax. Because of the lingering reputation of the old models, Australians are willing to pay ridiculous premiums for second-hand HiLuxes. You will see 5-year-old Toyotas with 150,000 kilometers on the clock, selling for almost the exact same price as a brand new 0-kilometer Ute from a competing brand. The math just does not make sense anymore. So, what should you buy if you want maximum longevity without emptying your bank account every time you see your mechanic? Let's dive straight into the 4 alternatives that secretly rule the Outback. The number 1 Ute that actually outlasts the modern Toyota HiLux is the Isuzu D-Max, specifically models carrying the legendary 3.0-litre turbo diesel engine. If you ask any independent diesel mechanic in Australia what they would buy with their own hard-earned cash, in most cases, the answer is an Isuzu, and there is a very specific engineering reason for this. Isuzu is not a car company that happens to make trucks. They are one of the world's largest commercial truck manufacturers that happens to make a passenger Ute. The heart of the D-Max is the 4JJ1 engine, and its newer brother, the 4JJ3. This engine block is literally pulled straight from Isuzu's N-Series light commercial trucks. It is heavily over-engineered and massively understressed. While other brands are squeezing small-capacity 2.0-litre engines with twin turbos to produce huge horsepower numbers, Isuzu keeps it simple. A big, lazy 3.0-litre 4-cylinder that doesn't have to work hard to get you up a hill. Because the internal components aren't being pushed to their absolute thermal limits, they simply do not break. But here's the part most people miss about repair costs. The Isuzu engine utilizes a heavy-duty steel timing chain driven by robust gears, unlike the rubber timing belts found in some older competitors. This means you do not have to pay a mechanic $1,000 every 100,000 kilometers to rip the front of your engine apart. Furthermore, the engine bay of a D-Max is laid out logically. When a mechanic needs to change the alternator, the starter motor, or access the fuel rail, they don't have to remove half the suspension and the intake manifold to get to it. Less labor time equals cheaper repair bills. The D-Max is the quintessential, honest Aussie workhorse. It doesn't pretend to be a luxury car, but it will tow a 3.5-ton caravan across the Nullarbor in 45-degree heat without breaking a sweat. Moving on to number 2, we have the ultimate value proposition, the Mitsubishi Triton. A lot of badge snobs love to joke about the Triton's styling, calling it the poor man's Ute. But the real joke is on the guy who paid $20,000 more for a HiLux that is sitting on the back of a tow truck. The Triton, particularly the MQ and MR generations built from 2015 onwards, is mechanically brilliant and arguably the smartest financial decision you can make in the dual cab market. Let's look at the raw numbers. You can frequently walk into a Mitsubishi dealership and drive away in a highly spec'd Triton for tens of thousands of dollars less than an equivalent HiLux SR5. That initial massive saving is money in your pocket that pays for years of diesel, insurance, and servicing. But the Triton isn't just cheap to buy, it is cheap to fix. Mitsubishi has an enormous parts network in Australia, and because the 2.4-litre MIVEC turbo diesel engine has been produced in such massive volumes for so long, aftermarket parts are incredibly affordable. This is where it gets interesting. The Triton has a mechanical advantage that the HiLux lacked for decades, and that is the Super Select 2 four-wheel drive system. Most traditional Utes, including older HiLuxes, have a basic part-time 4WD system. You can only use four-wheel drive on loose dirt or mud. If you engage it on wet bitumen, the driveline binds up and snaps. Mitsubishi's Super Select system features a center differential, meaning you can drive in full-time four-wheel drive on slippery, rain-soaked asphalt roads. For tradies driving on oily city streets or families hauling kids to school in a torrential downpour, this is a massive safety advantage that reduces stress on the driveline, preventing catastrophic and expensive transfer case failures. The Triton is the quiet overachiever that just keeps running. Number 3 on our list is the master of disguise, the Mazda BT50. Specifically any model built from late 2020 onwards. The real problem starts when buyers get caught up in the badge on the front grille. You see, back in the day, the Mazda BT50 was built on a Ford Ranger chassis. They were decent, but they had their fair share of electrical gremlins and EGR cooler failures. However, in 2020, Mazda ended their partnership with Ford and signed a deal with Isuzu. Underneath the sleek, stylish, almost SUV-like bodywork of a modern Mazda BT50 beats the exact same heart as the Isuzu D-Max. It uses the exact same unkillable 3.0-litre 4JJ3 truck engine, the exact same heavy-duty ICIN 6-speed automatic transmission, and the exact same robust ladder frame chassis. It is quite literally an Isuzu D-Max in a tuxedo. And that's exactly where many drivers go wrong. They ignore the Mazda because it looks too soft for the building site. But this creates a massive loophole in the used car market for smart buyers. Because the BT50 doesn't have the rugged, aggressive aesthetic of the D-Max or the HiLux, it suffers from much heavier depreciation. You can often find a 3-year-old Mazda BT50 on the used market for significantly less than a D-Max of the exact same age, mileage, and specification. You are getting the legendary Isuzu reliability and cheap servicing costs, but you are buying it at a massive discount simply because it has a Mazda badge on the steering wheel. Furthermore, Mazda dealerships often fight hard for your servicing business, offering capped price servicing deals that keep your long-term maintenance costs entirely predictable and surprisingly low. Finally, we arrive at number 4, the absolute king of the dirt-cheap, indestructible workhorses, the Holden Rodeo and the early Holden Colorado, specifically the RA and RC generations built between roughly 2007 and 2012. Now you might be thinking, Holden doesn't even exist anymore, how can a dead brand outlast a new Toyota? The answer comes down to pure, analog simplicity. Most people only notice the downside of modern technology when it's already too late. A brand new HiLux is a rolling supercomputer. It has dozens of microprocessors checking everything from exhaust gas temperatures to the precise milligram of fuel being injected per stroke. If a single sensor gets covered in red outback dust and sends a faulty reading, the computer shuts the engine down to protect itself. You are left stranded, waiting for a tow truck, and the dealer will charge you a small fortune just to plug their diagnostic laptop into the dashboard. The older Holden Rodeo and Colorado, equipped with the 3.0-litre Isuzu 4JJ1 engine, are gloriously stupid machines. They are mechanical, analog beasts. They do not have complex diesel particulate filters to clog up. They do not require AdBlue exhaust fluid. Their computers are basic. If a sensor acts up on an old Colorado, the dashboard might flash a warning light, but the mechanical fuel pump will just keep violently shoving diesel into the cylinders, and the Ute will keep driving to get you home. When it comes to the claim of costing half as much to fix, This is where these older Holdens shine the brightest. Because they sold in massive numbers and share parts with the Isuzu D-Max of the same era, the country is absolutely flooded with spare parts. If you smash a headlight on a Cape York track, dent a tailgate, or miraculously manage to blow a turbo, you don't need to order a $2,000 part from Japan. You simply drive down to your local wrecker or hop online, and you can buy a replacement part pulled from a crashed vehicle for absolute pennies. Any apprentice mechanic in any dusty rural town from Broome to Broken Hill knows exactly how to work on these engines with a basic set of spanners. You don't need a software engineering degree to fix them. The Australian environment is uniquely punishing. We have the longest, straightest, hottest roads in the world. We have thousands of kilometers of corrugated dirt tracks that will vibrate cheap plastics to dust. We ask our Utes to act as family cars on Sunday, heavy haulers on Monday, and off-road explorers on our annual holidays. The Toyota HiLux earned its stripes in the past, and it is still a highly capable vehicle. But the blind loyalty to the badge has allowed the manufacturer to charge premium prices for vehicles that are no longer mathematically superior in longevity or repair costs. The complex emissions systems required by modern global laws have fundamentally changed the reliability landscape. If you are about to drop $60,000 or $70,000 on a dual-cab Ute, take a step back and look at the real-world data from the workshops, not just the marketing brochures. The Isuzu D-Max will give you commercial truck reliability. The Mitsubishi Triton will leave tens of thousands of dollars in your bank account. The Mazda BT50 gives you Isuzu hardware wrapped in a premium, depreciated package. And the older Holden Colorado will happily survive the apocalypse while costing you pocket change to maintain. Before you sign any dealership contracts, go test drive these 4 alternatives. Look at the capped price servicing schedules. Check the cost of basic replacement parts like brake pads and filters, and talk to independent diesel mechanics who actually get their hands dirty fixing these machines every single day. If this deep dive into the real world of Australian Utes saved you from making an expensive mistake, make sure you share this video with a mate who is currently looking for a new workhorse. Drop a comment below and let me know your experiences. Have you ever owned an Unbreakable Isuzu, or have you been bitten by a massive DPF repair bill? Let's get the debate going down below, and I will see you in the next video as we continue to expose the real costs of keeping your 4-wheel drive on the road.